Blockbuster once ruled Britain's high streets, with over 800 stores and 3.5 million members hooked on Friday nights. But behind the shelves lurked a toxic secret. The empire survived on £800 million in late fees, and it dismissed Netflix's $50 million offer as a joke. What fatal flaw did Blockbuster carry from its greatest triumph straight into oblivion? Could their downfall have been stopped? Blockbuster's arrival in Britain rewrote the rules of home entertainment. In 1992, the company snapped up Cityvision's Ritz chain for $81 million, instantly adding 775 storefronts to its empire. Overnight, the blue and yellow sign became a fixture from Aberdeen to Plymouth, lighting up high streets in every major town and suburb. By 2002, Blockbuster United Kingdom boasted more than 800 stores, 3.5 million registered members, an annual turnover topping £300 million. On Friday nights, the ritual played out the same across the country, families and friends queuing for the latest release. Shelves stacked deep with new arrivals and old favourites, the buzz of anticipation as customers browsed for the perfect film. Blockbuster didn't just rent movies, it shaped the rhythm of British weekends. The brand's reach was unrivaled, its presence in the heart of nearly every community. For a generation, the Blockbuster card was a passport to a world of choice, and the stores themselves felt permanent, as much a part of the landscape as the post office or the corner shop. With exclusive deals from Hollywood studios, Blockbuster could offer titles weeks before supermarkets or smaller rivals. Their inventory dwarfed the competition, hundreds of copies of each blockbuster ready for the Friday night rush. Globally, the company's scale was staggering. At its peak, Blockbuster operated 9,000 stores in 25 countries, employed 84,000 people, and served 65 million customers. The United Kingdom network was a jewel in that crown, a symbol of the brand's dominance and its promise of endless choice. For years, Blockbuster seemed untouchable, a retail giant with the muscle to outlast any challenger. The empire's roots ran deep, and on the surface, nothing appeared able to shake its hold on British high streets. Late fees were never just a minor annoyance. They were Blockbuster's silent engine. In the year 2000 alone, the company raked in $800 million from penalties, a sum that made up a staggering chunk of its profits. For many customers, a Friday night rental could quickly turn sour, as £1 a day late charge piled up and sometimes tripled the cost of a single film. The resentment simmered, but inside Blockbuster's boardrooms, this penalty revenue was seen as essential. The business model had quietly shifted. The real money was not in renting movies, but in catching customers out. John Antioco, Blockbuster's chief executive, saw the danger. By 2005, he tried to break the addiction. His proposal to eliminate late fees entirely was radical, and the financial hit was immediate. The company lost $600 million in annual revenue almost overnight. The board could not stomach the loss. Antioco was pushed out, and with him went the last serious attempt to put customer loyalty above short-term profit. The leadership that followed doubled down on the old ways, convinced that the high street empire could weather any storm. But outside those walls, the world was changing. In September 2000, as dot-com startups struggled for survival, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph, the founders of Netflix, flew to Dallas. Their pitch was simple: sell Netflix to Blockbuster for $50 million and let them run the online side of the business. Blockbuster's executives laughed them out of the room. Antioco dismissed Netflix as a passing fad, obsessed with what he called dot-com hysteria. The decision would become infamous. Netflix survived, thrived, and eventually eclipsed the entire industry. Blockbuster, locked into its penalty profits and high street footprint, missed its one chance to buy the future for the price of a single year's late fees. The addiction to punishment and the arrogance that came with it set the company on a path it could not escape. On January 16, 2013, Blockbuster UK entered administration. Overnight, 528 stores and more than 4,000 jobs hung in the balance. Deloitte took control, launching a search for a buyer and warning staff to brace for the worst. Within weeks, the first wave hit. 160 stores shuttered, their windows papered over, leaving hundreds of employees out of work with little warning. For many, it was the end of a routine that had lasted years. Morning deliveries, Friday night rushes, familiar faces at the counter were gone. Those who remained waited anxiously as rumours spread through the surviving branches. In March, a lifeline arrived. Gordon Brothers, a restructuring firm, stepped in to buy 264 stores, giving hope to workers and customers alike. For a moment, the blue and yellow sign stayed lit, but the rescue was short-lived. Rental sales kept falling, and the new owners struggled to reverse the decline. Each month, more staff left or were let go, as foot traffic dwindled and shelves grew emptier. By late October, the business collapsed again. A second administration began, and the closures accelerated. In November, 72 more stores were axed. Another 62 disappeared in early December, leaving just 91 branches to limp through the final days. On December the 16th, 2013, the last stores, including the one in St Austell, Cornwall, locked their doors for good. 808 people lost their jobs in that final wave, many after years of service. In less than 12 months, Blockbuster UK had gone from 528 stores to none. The speed was staggering. The losses deeply personal. Staff packed up uniforms and memories, while high streets across Britain gained another row of empty windows. The era of the video shop ended not with a bang, but with a series of silent, irreversible closures. Blockbuster's collapse was not just the result of changing tastes or faster competition. The company was locked into a business model that made real change almost impossible. Every store, from Aberdeen to Plymouth, sat on long-term leases, contracts that could not be escaped without heavy penalties. Even as rental sales dried up, Blockbuster faced years of fixed payments for hundreds of empty, oversized shops. The physical footprint that once gave it dominance now became an anchor, dragging the business down with every month that passed. Above the stores, the numbers were even less forgiving. After being spun off from Viacom in 2004, Blockbuster inherited a debt load of nearly £1 billion. That burden shaped every decision. Cash that could have funded a digital pivot was eaten up by interest payments and obligations to landlords. When streaming took off, Blockbuster simply did not have the resources to compete. Any hope of investing in a UK streaming platform or even modernising the rental by post service was stifled by the need to keep creditors at bay. Inside the boardroom, activist investors pushed for short-term gains and resisted any move that might threaten the value of Blockbuster's real estate portfolio. Carl Icahn, who became the largest shareholder in 2005, led a campaign to focus on physical stores and cut costs. The board ousted John Antioco, the one leader willing to take risks on digital, and installed Jim Keyes, who doubled down on the high street. The company's strategy became a tug-of-war between debt holders, landlords, and investors, with little patience for experimentation. The result was paralysis. Blockbuster could not close unprofitable stores without triggering lease penalties. It could not invest in streaming without new capital. Every path toward reinvention was blocked by financial and structural roadblocks. As Netflix and LoveFilm scaled up, Blockbuster was left defending a shrinking island of physical retail, unable to adapt and unable to escape. The empire that once seemed unbreakable was, in the end, trapped by its own weight. Today, streaming giants dominate, and convenience rules the high street. As digital disruption accelerates, no retailer is immune. Success demands self-cannibalization before someone else does it for you. The lesson lingers. Ignore your customers and the future will ignore you. What's your take? Drop your thoughts below.